Copyright infringement. How to remove copyright infringement online. Ant Counsel is a law firm for creatives and entrepreneurs in the areas of social media law, technology, entertainment, copyright, and trademarks. Step 1. What do you do when you discover that your copyright has been infringed online, whether it's a piece of art, music, a blog post that's been copied? Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to attempt to reach out directly to the infringer first to see if you can remove the infringing content and try and resolve it yourself. And sometimes that works. Now, if you don't have a contact information for the person that owns the website, they haven't listed it, you can try going to ICANN's Whois lookup, and sometimes you can get the name of the owner of the domain if they've listed it in that Whois lookup. Sometimes it's private, but sometimes you can actually get that information. Step 2, you want to review the terms and conditions of the website posting the infringing material, as they may have a procedure pursuant to the DMCA, which is a procedure in the US, or the notice and notice provisions, which is a procedure in Canada relating to copyright infringement. And those procedures may help you remove that content and actually also provide you with a contact email. So for example, Business Insider's website actually provides an email address that you can contact and a notice form to submit if you discover copyright infringement on their website. Basically, you have to swear that you're the copyright owner and you certify it under penalty or perjury. You have to provide information such as the location and description of the infringing material, etc. So step 3, you can pursue social media reporting procedures for copyright infringement. Now, these may direct you back to the US DMCA or Canada's notice and notice procedures, but most social medias have a copyright infringement reporting procedure. So, for example, you'll see with Facebook, they have an online copyright infringement form, and I've posted the link to access that form on the video. Same with Twitter. They also have a copyright infringement report that you can submit, and I've listed that link as well. Similarly with Instagram, I've posted the link there as well, and you can submit your copyright report form. And YouTube also has a copyright takedown notice, and I've listed the link. And then Pinterest also has a copyright infringement notification via their online form, which I've also posted. So 4, the next step. Ultimately, you may have to report the copyright infringement via the DMCA, which is a procedure in the US, or the notice and notice procedure in Canada to have the copyright material removed. So the DMCA stands for the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. It incorporates 2 1996 WIPO treaties that were passed and it was passed in 1998. It addresses copyright infringement online through Title II of the DMCA, and it's known as the Online Copyright Infringement Liability Limitation Act. So basically, the DMCA permits copyright owners to provide a notice in a prescribed form to an ISP who forwards it to the website owner. Upon receipt of the DMCA notice, the allegedly infringing work must be taken down or blocked. So it essentially provides a safe harbor for online service providers who are not liable, and they do not have to pay if they comply with the DMCA notice and takedown regime. Now, a website owner may provide a counter notice to the claimant, and the ISP must forward that back to you. So the counter notice provides a safe harbor to users when the material is actually not infringing, and it protects them from liability. So if the claimant does not bring the lawsuit within that certain period, then the alleged infringing content is put back up. So a company must follow the following steps under the DMCA. 1. Designate a DMCA agent with the Library of Congress. 2. List the DMCA agent on the company website. 3. Establish a formal plan to handle complaints. 4. And you must not receive any financial benefit from the infringing activity. Now let's take a look at the notice and notice provisions in Canada. The notice and notice protections for ISPs in Canada are pursuant to Section 41.25, 41.26, and 41.273 of the Copyright Modernization Act. The notice and notice system in Canada is similar to the DMCA takedown system in the US. In Canada, ISPs are legally required to pass notices of any allegations of copyright infringement to the website owner. They do not have to take the work down, but just forward it. However, in the US, the work must be taken down. An ISP in Canada has a safe harbor against them for copyright infringement, provided they forward the notice. So an ISP or webhost is required to do the following. 1. Forward any notices sent by copyright owners to the person who owns the website. 2. Inform the copyright owner that the notice has been forwarded, or if it's not forwarded, to explain why it was not forwarded. 3. The ISP or webhost is still required to retain records of the notice for 6 months and 1 year if a lawsuit was actually commenced within that first 6-month period. And this is so you can identify the alleged infringer. So once an individual receives a notice, the claimant still needs to obtain a court order to gain disclosure of their identity. They will then need to pursue formal legal proceedings to establish liability. So the notice and notice requires that intermediaries such as internet service providers and web hosts forward the notices of alleged copyright infringement as soon as feasible. If they don't, then the copyright owner can pursue statutory damages against them in the amount of $5,000 to $10,000. The intermediaries must let the copyright owners know that the notice has been forwarded. So the written notice must include the following. 1. The claimant's name and address. 2. Identify the material being alleged to be infringed. 3. Specify the claimant's interests or rights in that material. 4. Specify the location date for the electronic location relating to the alleged infringement. 5. Specify the infringement that is claimed. And 6. Specify the date and time when the alleged infringement occurred. So the last step and your last resort is to finally commence formal legal proceedings and hire a lawyer to help you. Contact Vandana at antcounsel.com and I would be happy to help you. So if you want a sample DMCA takedown notice or a notice and notice, go to www.antcounsel.com/blog/copyright infringement online. Thank you very much.